You have returned to Minas Tirith just in time to join the army of Gondor as it marches to Osgiliath. An army of orcs and Southrons have garrisoned the ancient city, but Lord Boromir means to retake it. Eager to strike a blow against Mordor, you will see the city retaken or die in the attempt. Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough series of the Lord of the Rings living card game. I'm playing the Nightmare version of Assault on Osgiliath, the fourth quest in the Against the Shadow cycle. This is actually my second attempt recording this. The first time, due to an update, XSplit was picking up the inbuilt microphone in my laptop rather than my good microphone, and so the audio is not as good as I would like. Anyway, so the Nightmare card here. Set up, add Palace Remains to the staging area. If there are more Osgiliath locations in the staging area than players in the game, this card gains Response. At the beginning of the quest phase, choose one non-unique location. If the players quest successfully this phase, remaining progress made beyond the active location's quest points is placed on the chosen location. And the Palace Remains, 0 threat, 5 quest points, immune to player card effects. Palace Remains gets +1 threat for each resource token on it. The players cannot travel here unless there are at least 5 resource tokens on Palace Remains. While Palace Remains is in the staging area, it gains Forced. After a player takes control of a location, place 1 resource token here. This, of course, is the mechanism through which the Nightmare quest prevents some of the quick victories that were possible in the basic version, kind of bypassing the intended mechanics of the quest. The regular setup, each player chooses 1 enemy and 1 unique location and adds them to the staging area, shuffle the encounter deck. So I will be choosing the same locations that I did when I did this. In standard mode, the 2 1 threat locations that you can't travel to, because they're both 1 threat. Meanwhile, for enemies, new Nightmare enemies, these Haradrim warriors, because they have X threat, where X is the number of locations controlled by the first player. So, of course, at the moment, that is 0. So I will be starting with a staging area containing 2 threat. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. So it's a nice gentle start. These are, in general, actually, probably the nicest enemies to have to deal with. So let's begin. Control N. Alright. What have I got here? Okay, I can play this Gondorian shield. That's good. Over here, obviously, we are going to immediately play Steward of Gondor onto Balin. And now, obviously, I could just immediately play King Under the Mountain. Yeah, I think I'm going to go straight for King Under the Mountain and start amassing the army of allies next round. Okay, obviously I'll discard Spare King Under the Mountain and leave it at that. Obviously I'm not going to play anything more. Oh, that's a point. Yes, just a slight adjustment. I could have paid 1 from Denethor and 1 from Balin for an envoy of Pelargir, adding the resource back to Balin, or Boromir, it doesn't matter, and then played King Under the Mountain. But now I'm not going to play this Daeron's Runes, because whatever cards I draw, I'm obviously not going to play them. So there's no point in me having them now. I may as well save the Daeron's Runes until next round, when I will have slightly more options for what to discard to the second half of it. So I will immediately play this Gondorian shield onto Denethor, jumping at that opportunity since I don't yet have a wizard pipe to set those things up. Let's use Galadriel for this deck. Okay, and then I'm going to immediately play Arwen. I think it's a good idea to get her into play early on. So we have 2 threat in the staging area, as I said. There are more Osgiliath locations in the staging area than players in the game, but the response here requires me to... Firstly, it has to be activated at the beginning of the quest phase. I can't do it after staging. And secondly, it requires me to choose a non-unique location to place excess progress on. And of course, all these locations are unique. So never mind, my progress here will be pointless, but that's not such a big deal. So questing 2, 4, not exhausting because of Galadriel. 6, 9. Just in case of high threat cards. Western Quarter. And the Mumak. Okay, that's not something I'm overly happy about seeing so early on. But okay, that's 6 threat added. I will travel straight to the Western Quarter. And of course I don't have to engage these Haradrim warriors because my threats are low enough. But I could consider engaging one with this deck to just start chipping away at it. On the other hand, I don't have to do that. They are still currently 0 threat. So, in fact, I'm going to use Denethor's ability to look at the top card of the encounter deck. Lieutenant of Mordor. Okay. He can go... Well, Actually, no. I think he can stay in play. Well, he can stay on top of the encounter deck because his when revealed triggers the when revealed effect of the topmost treachery in the discard pile, which currently there isn't one. So this is actually a pretty reasonable time to have to deal with him. I can also exhaust Boromir to place 1 progress on the Ancient Harbour through the combat action there. And Control N. So what do we have over here? Okay. Well, I'm going to use Galadriel on this deck again to draw Emery. Okay, that's annoying. But an interesting point, of course. While the player controls Western Quarter, it gains Forced. After the when revealed effect of a treachery is cancelled, return Western Quarter to the staging area. So, I'm not entirely sure that I want to be cancelling that many treacheries. It would be nice to have the option... Okay, so actually no, I can save Emery until after staging, because if I get a treachery this round, I can play that Test of Will from the top of my deck. That seems like a reasonable compromise. So let's use Steward and King, and... well... for more Errand Riders, I don't really need to be moving resources that much at the moment. So over here, it's going to be either the extra willpower from the Galadriel's Handmaiden or extra actions from Unexpected Courage as the order of the day. Yeah, having more defences from Denethor with the courage would be good. I currently have 6 threat in the staging area. I suppose I should consider how much willpower I can get onto the table with this deck. Maybe 3 extra. Oh yes, I should also play this Daron's Runes at this point. Okay, discarding Steward of Gondor. Now that potentially changes things. I might get more willpower if I have less allies but visionary leadership in play. Last round I was questing for 9. The thing is, I do rather want to clear the Western Quarter right away, because when you take control of Western Quarter, discard the highest cost attachment you control. So if I can trigger that on this deck, which has no attachments, that would be great. So I think, just to be sure, I'm going to take the Handmaiden for the extra willpower. And drop this deck's threat by 1. And over here. Okay, let's see. So, yes, I was saying I could potentially get 3 extra willpower, because I was thinking I could play an Envoy of Pelargir for 2, adding a resource to Denethor. I could play the Gladwin Minstrel for 2, and then I could play Guard of the Citadel for 2. 3 additional willpower. However, if I instead play Visionary Leadership, then that would obviously get me more willpower out of the characters that I already have. So, if I put Visionary Leadership onto Boromir, and pay 2 for an Envoy of Pelargir, then I would have 3, 5, 7 willpower, as opposed to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so this is the option that gives me more willpower. And as such, I probably want to go with this. So that's 7 willpower. 10, 12, 14, 16. Let's actually target Boromir. Get him up to a reasonable level of defense. 16 against 6. Okay. We reveal Lieutenant of Mordor, whose when revealed fizzles, and Invading Orc. After it attacks and destroys a character, that character's controller returns the location he controls to the staging area. So, okay, 4 threat added. I make 6 progress. I take control of the Western Quarter. Now, I will have to engage the Invading Orc. I don't have to engage anything else yet. Still. Put the location here. I am now going to put Emery into play, discarding the top 3 cards of my deck. Shame to lose Bilbo there. Okay, so that's a thing. A Flame of Arnor at this point would be very powerful. Okay, so these Haradrim warriors, the first player now does control 1 location. And I've taken control of a location, so I put a resource on the Palace Remains. So they will have Archery 1, they also at the moment have 1 threat, but next round this deck will be first player, so they'll be back to 0 in the quest phase. And forced after Haradrim warrior engages a player, it gets +X attack and +X defense until the end of the round. So if I engage one of these, it would be 4 attack, 4 defense. Now, Flame of Arnor with Treebeard would get Gandalf up to 7 attack +1 from Emery. 8 would kill a Haradrim warrior. Alternatively, just the 7 would kill the Lieutenant of Mordor. Of course, allies can't defend against him, so I would still have to... I would have to Sentinel with Boromir, or take it undefended. Of course, with Frodo, that's always an option. Or, of course, the invading orc. Gandalf could also do that with Flame of Arnor. Perhaps that's the way to go. Of course, the thing is, I do want to start dealing with these enemies at some point. I can't just keep leaving everything in the staging area. So... I suppose from the perspective of trying to get threat out of the staging area, maybe I do this. Now, Boromir has to Sentinel this. He's Sentinel thanks to Arwen. So 5 against 3 thanks to Arwen, he takes 2 damage. Denethor defends this, he's 5 with the shield, +1 for each location you control. This deck controls no locations, so that's fine. Flame of Arnor. Discarding Treebeard. Ready Gandalf with 7 attack, which is enough to kill the Lieutenant of Mordor. The invading orc can just stick around for the moment. And oh, sorry. I did have 2 points of archery to assign. There we go. Now, Student Gondor, King Under the Mountain. And okay. Continuing to stay below the engagement costs of these warriors. Okay, possibly giving that up because Herald of Anorion is a pretty powerful play. But I'm not sure. Let's also play this Daron's Runes. Okay, very good tail. Very tempted to drop Herald of Anorion. I do have 3 copies of Faramir in the deck, so I'm going to discard this one. Alright, so... there are currently 3 Gondor allies in play, so I need to play 2 more before the Citadel Custodian becomes free, or at least get 2 into play, Herald of Anorion being a thing. So I can easily do that with the Herald. And yeah, I think I'm just going to go for that. So, Herald of Anorion. Doomed 2. Bringing in this Envoy of Pelargir. Adding a resource back to, let's say, Balin. There are now 5 Gondor allies in play. So I'll play Citadel Custodian for free. I'm just going to arrange my allies like this. Purely questing allies are down here. Flexible allies, so questing and attack, are up here. And utility allies will be down here. And okay, may as well jump straight to a very good tail. exhausting these. Technically I shuffle my deck first, not that it matters since I don't know the order of it. And let's see, top 5 cards. Okay, so I exhausted 7 points worth. So I can take 6. These 2, lose my last custodian, that's fine. Discard many 3. So Faramir is a utility ally. This guy's another questing ally. I'll stick him with the other one. So now my willpower kind of explodes here. Let's just do another one of these. 33 is not a significant number. I think it's the engagement cost of the Lieutenant of Mordor, who I already killed. So, yes, Doom 2. Bring in... I could go for the Minstrel. Actually, I could equally go for the Ship Captain, triggering his response to move a resource from Balin to Denethor, and then play the Minstrel. So it's the top 5 cards of my deck for a very good tail. I mean, I could take We Are Not Idle, but I'm not going to. And then let's play a very good tail, exhausting the Minstrel and a Herald of Anorian. Shuffle, and top 5. Okay, I only get the 1 ally out of this one, since Faramir is already in play. And I lose my last very good tail. But that's fine. Minstrel enters play. I once again search the top 5 cards of my deck for an event. We Are Not Idle. And shuffle again. Okay, and now I'm going to note down stat adjustments for Visionary Leadership and Boromir. Okay. So, yeah, I could play We Are Not Idle to draw another card, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be playing it this round. So I may save that for a future round when there may be an option to exhaust Balin for an extra resource as well. And over here. Yeah, I want to play this Unexpected Courage onto Denethor. And I guess that's it. 1 resource, not enough for anything else. So, there is 1, 2, 3, 7 threat in the staging area. So I'm certainly questing for 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. Not exhausting this round because of Galadriel. I don't actually need any progress at the moment, but I could reveal a significant amount of threat, so I want to be prepared for that eventuality. On the other hand, I'm also going to be engaging these Haradrim warriors this round. I want to be prepared for that. I do have Faramir available for an extra... okay, so these 4 were all exhausted for tails. So it would only be 3 willpower, or 3 willpower on either side. Arwen will target Denethor this time. Let's get up to 16 like that, I think. Yeah, okay, and we reveal Orc Vanguard. Okay. This guy is a problem. This is one of the things that I potentially might have wanted to save my Flame of Arnor for, but I decided not to in this instance. And okay, so that's 7 threat added to the staging area. Cards like this are why I was wanting to be cautious and send plenty of willpower. Of course, I was forgetting about Faramir. But okay, quest fine, I travel to Orc War Camp. I have to engage the Haradrim warriors, though they will not be boosted at all. I would like to do something about the Orc Vanguard, but I'm not sure if I can. While it's in the staging area, resources cannot be spent from the resource pools of heroes who have a leadership, spirit, or lore resource icon. So, basically it means I can only pay resources from Gandalf and only on cards in my hand, because while playing from the top of my deck, he is considered to have all resource icons. So if Gandalf had 4 resources, he could play Treebeard, which would be very helpful for dealing with the Orc Vanguard, but he doesn't have 4 resources. Now, I do technically have enough attack power that I could kill the Orc Vanguard, but since I have to deal with the warriors as well, I don't think it's really on the cards. So, let's see actually, if I engage 1 on each side, as I said, they don't get boosted, then they don't currently have archery. Obviously, Denethor defends against this guy. And okay, so of course there's a possibility of taking one of these undefended. On the other hand, there's also, I could defend with Faramir. That's pretty reasonable. Defend with Faramir. Good to see Southron support go as a shadow card. And Denethor defends cross table here. If this attack destroys a character, it doesn't. So now I can attack for 3, 5, 7, and I think it's more important to kill the 5 attack invading orc. And here I can attack for 3, 5, 7, and kill the Haradrim warrior. Discard that shadow card. And things are looking pretty good. Control N. Okay. Now remember, I cannot actually... Yeah, I can play cards, but I cannot spend resources. Except from Gandalf on neutral cards. Ithilien Tracker. I can do without, I think. Now there's a definite possibility that I could play Grim Resolve this round. So, okay, I'm going to exhaust Galadriel to lower threat by 1 and draw Nenya into my hand. So now I can play Nenya onto Galadriel. Doesn't really help at present, but it's the only thing I could actually play this round. Now, I don't have a ton of willpower here. Well, a ton of everything, really. I can play this last Citadel Custodian. because he's free. So I didn't spend resources, so it's fine with the Orc Vanguard. And I guess that's it. There's still 3, 7, 9 threat in the staging area. Now, as I was saying, there's a possibility I could play Grim Resolve. Of course, I can't play it until I have engaged the Orc Vanguard, because it needs to be out of the staging area. But that is a definite possibility. I don't know if I want to be counting on me doing that, though. So it's probably still best to work on the assumption that I might not. So, okay, 3... I think I will hold back a Minstrel to chump against the Vanguard. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14, 16, 18. That should be fine. Especially with Faramir still available. I could even consider holding back some of this. So 14, but Faramir is available to add the extra, well, 5 actually, put me up to more than I was at before. Okay, West Gate and Western Quarter. Okay, so that's added 4 threat to the staging area. I'm currently making 1 progress. I will exhaust Faramir, targeting this deck. So that's fine, the Orc War Camp is explored. It's not an Osgiliath location, so it is just discarded as normal. Now... obviously I want to travel to one of these. Next round... This deck would be first player, which would not be great for the Western Quarter. Though I might end up doing it anyway, because I could do it with this effect. But I'll keep my options open and travel to the West Gate instead. I do not have to engage the Mumak, which is great. I will engage the Orc Vanguard. So, defend against the Vanguard. Dead. And defend against the Warrior. Oh! This deck is first player. Controls 1 location, so there is 1 point of archery to assign. This guy has 2 hit points, so that's fine. Okay. So 3, 5, 7, 8 attack kills a Vanguard. 3, okay, that doesn't help. So I'll still just leave the Warrior. We use Denethor's ability to look at the top card of the encounter deck. Well, since this surges, I may as well just put it to the bottom of the encounter deck. And over here, exhaust these 2 heroes to put 2 more progress on the Ancient Harbour. Control N. Okay, I am now free to spend all my resources again. Honestly, I have so little deck left, I don't think I care about the Steron's runes. Play the Errand Rider. I don't think I care about extra resource I could potentially get, so let's just draw another card, and let's draw another card. Athelian Tracker. Sure, I'll play him. Two more for each of these guys. And okay, I guess this is sort of ruling out Grim Resolve again, but that shouldn't be a problem. So I'll trigger the Pelagish ship captain's ability to move a resource from Barlin to Galadriel. Let's play Sylvan... Actually, no, hang on. No, let's not play the Sylvan Refugee from the top of my deck. Let's play Bilbo. And search my deck for the Wizard Pipe. So, there we go. Add the Wizard Pipe to my hand. And shuffle the deck. Now, play the Wizard Pipe. With Galadriel's resource. So, actually, do I want the Gondorian Shield right away? I'm not sure that I do. I might want to just play Treebeard. Seems like it could be pretty solid. Or another Unexpected Courage. I'm not really in need of more willpower. Having the option of Galadriel's Greeting, on the other hand, could be useful. I'm just thinking, if I reveal Southron support, it's doomed 3. I suppose I could just use Galadriel on this deck, so actually I think I will do that. I'm not concerned about needing willpower from Nenya. Okay, well, that will be nice to play next round. So yeah, okay, let's just swap Treebeard onto the top of my deck and then play him. Of course, I cannot use the Control S shortcut because this deck is the second deck. So just as a demonstration, if I do that, it sends it to the wrong deck. I'll just forget that I saw that Errand Rider. So, just in case I somehow do end up engaging the Mumak, possibly by choice, I will again hold back this Galadriel Minstrel. I have no penalty for characters leaving play at the moment, so that's fine. Request for 2, 4, 6, ignoring the threat of the first enemy. 9, 11, 13, 15. Okay, let's leave it at 15 for the moment. How much threat is in the staging area? 1, 2, 3, 7, 9. And I could choose to have excess progress go onto the western quarter. In which case I would need 9 progress to clear everything. It's not an unreasonable idea, so that gets me up to 19. Faramir would currently add 6 more. suppose since I'm not moving a resource, I'll just send the errand rider on the quest. 20. We reveal Haradrim Elite makes an immediate attack from the staging area against the first player. Denethor will defend, of course. Defending player discards an attachment he controls. Let's cancel that with Balin. Okay. Doesn't count as threat. So I've added 3 threat to the staging area. I'm currently making 8 progress. By exhausting Faramir, I make it considerably more than that. So I will explore both the West Gate and the Western Quarter. So I have to discard the highest cost attachment I control, which is of course 2 cost, so I'm going to choose to discard King Under the Mountain since I'm sort of running out of deck and it's superfluous. I have just taken control of 2 locations, so the Palace Remains gets 2 more resources. Crumbled Battlements. When you take control of it, shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discard cards from the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded, put it into play, engage with you. Okay, I'll travel there. Now, I still don't have to engage the Haradrim Elite. Oh no, I still don't have to engage the Mumak, rather. I do have to engage the Haradrim Elite. I could choose to engage the Mumak just for the hell of it, but I'm not sure why I would. When I can easily quest past it. I mean, it doesn't even have victory points, so I wouldn't even be saving myself from dealing with it again in future. So, obviously Denethor can defend 1 more attack. It takes 6 to kill the elite. Yeah, okay. I just engage it here. Deal out shadow cards. Yeah, I think the safest option is just to have Denethor do this one. Okay, and Frodo do this one. Do the attacking enemy 2 additional shadow cards. Okay. +2 attack. And nothing. I should have maybe cancelled the +2 attack. Okay, so that's 6 attack against 2 defense. I raise my threat by 4. So maybe I will have to deal with the Mumak, but maybe not. I have greetings. Oh, archery 2, since I control 2 locations. 1, 2. Actually, let's go up here, 2. And we can attack for 3, 5, 7. And 3, 5, 7. Clear of enemies apart from the Mumak. Things are looking pretty good. I want to do something about the old bridge at some point. Yeah, okay. I think I would like to just continue avoiding the Mumak, so I'm going to do this. Drop this deck's threat by 6. And then I will use Galadriel on this deck to Low threat by 1 and draw a card. Okay, I use the Errand Rider to move a resource to Denethor, play a Warden of Healing. Oh, Treebeard should have additional resource tokens per round, 1. There's his resource for this round. I suppose I could actually have done this slightly neater. I could have gotten Gandalf's staff into play. Okay, hang on. Let me just pull this back a minute. So this was the state of things. So if instead I played Gandalf's staff and exhausted it to add a resource, then this happened, and I play another Errand Rider, exhaust this Errand Rider. Alright, so this is now done. And the Errand Rider moves another resource over here, and then I play the Greeting. So we end up in the same position, but with slightly different resources and Gandalf's staff in play. And then I may as well also play this guy. The huge Gondorian army is pretty well set up here. Threat in the staging area is 3, 4, 5, 9. So request, ignoring the first enemy, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. And we revealed the Eastern Quarter and Haradrim Elite. Well, of course, because of Arwen, Denethor is a sentinel, so he will do this. That's fine. Doesn't count as threat, so I've added 3. So that's fine. I make 7 progress, which is more than enough to clear the crumbled battlements. When I take control of it, I add a resource here. And shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discard cards from the encounter deck until an enemy is discarded, put it into play engaged with me. So, shuffle in and start discarding. Okay, an Orc Vanguard. Would not have been my first choice. Let's travel to the Eastern Quarter, and this deck will engage the Haradrim Elite. Okay. Fortunately, I will be able to kill the Vanguard immediately. I'm just going to finally throw Emery under the bus. This enemy attacks again. How about no? Exhaust a character you control 2 if you control 4 or more locations. I only control 2 locations. I exhaust Frodo. Emery is dead. But I still have nothing that punishes me for characters leaving play. Denethor defends this. That's fine. So I can attack for 3, 7, 9 and kill the Vanguard. Over here I can attack for 2, 4, 6. Kill this. Exhaust Boromir to put 1 more progress on Ancient Harbour. exhaust the Warden of Healing, heal Boromir and Faramir, and Control N. Steward. Okay. So at this point, we really should think about the old bridge, because I'm so close to winning. Although, well, okay, so I'll just save up my resources. It looks like I'm just going to lose these Grim Resolves, but I don't really need them at this point. Let's trigger Galadriel on this deck. So yeah, I'm continuing to keep in mind the possibility of Sauron support, Doomed 3, which would put both decks at 37, and thus I still wouldn't have to engage the Mumak. Over here, I might put a... Yeah, I'm going to put a Gondorian shield onto Frodo, just on the off chance that he has to defend something. But otherwise I'm just going to save my resources, because I might... Well, because I want to be sure I'll have enough to explore the old bridge next round. So, 10 threat in the staging area, ignoring the first enemy. 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. If the total threat of locations controlled by the players is greater than the total threat in the staging area, raise each player's threat by 2 and immediately end the quest phase without resolving the quest. Total threat of locations controlled by the players. It probably is 3, 5, 7, 9 versus 6. Okay. So I raise each player's threat by 2 and immediately end the quest phase. Well, okay. In that case, let's heal Boromir and Arwen. Use Gandalf's staff to add a resource. Use Denethor to look at the top card of the encounter deck. Crumbled battlements. Since I'm so close to winning, I think I would rather not get additional locations. Okay, the invading orc can stay. And I will exhaust Boromir once more to take the ancient harbour in the combat phase, obviously. I was planning on leaving the ancient harbour there because the old bridge is cheaper if there's another Osgiliath location in the staging area. And I was expecting that I would explore the eastern quarter and travel to the palace remains, so I wanted to just leave the ancient harbour there. But since that didn't happen, the palace remains is still there, making the old bridge cheaper, so it's all fine. Control N. Okay. So, I need 6 resources for the old bridge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there should be another resource on Palace Remains because I took the ancient harbour. And another one for taking the old bridge. honestly, at this point... okay, so yeah, let's... Wizard Pipe. This greeting. And then play it. And drop this deck's threat by 6. And I'm going to use Galadriel for this deck as well. Okay. Of course, Emery's ability only works from your hand. Gandalf allows you to play cards from the top of the deck as if they were in your hand, but Emery's ability is not playing her, so I can't put Emery into play from the top of my deck. Yeah, I'm just going to, right now, use the staff to add a resource and play this greeting. Oh, actually no, I will not use the staff to add a resource. I will use an errand rider to move a resource. I will use the staff to draw a card. And, well, I was then going to put Emery into play using her ability, but since I can see there's a Gondorian shield there, I'm not going to do that, because it wouldn't work. I will, of course, play the second Warden of Healing. And, okay. This seems good. There is 10 threat in the staging area. We quest for 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19. Reveal the invading orc. Oh, I exhaust the Athelian tracker, of course, so the invading orc doesn't count its threat. And there's Southron support, finally. Doomed 3. And... okay, actually... yeah, so... let's see... I'm pretty sure I'm going to grab the Southern Commanders, because these are... Southern support adds to the staging area, so I avoid the when revealed. I don't care about the threat. They're high engagement cost, so I can ignore them if I want. It's just good all round. So that has added 6 threat to the staging area. I make 3 progress and explore the eastern quarter, adding another resource to Palace Remains. When you take control of Eastern Quarter, discard each event card in your hand. So there we go. I can now travel to the Palace Remains. And now, okay. Obviously I have to engage the invading orc. I could choose to engage a Southern commander. I think it seems like a reasonable idea, so I'm going to do this. And I will defend with Frodo. Okay, he's 3 defense against 5 attack, so I take 2 points of threat. Denethor defends this one. Exhaust a character you control. I only control 3 locations, so it is only 1 character. That's fine. I will exhaust an errand rider. And now Gandalf and Treebeard can kill this invading orc. 9. 3, 5, 7, 9. This guy is dead. I can use Denethor to take a look at the encounter deck. Okay, that's not a location, so I'm fine with it. And I can use my Wardens of Healing. Heal Bilbo. Wait, that's an N... Oh no, that's another damage token. Right. Oh, maybe it was a damage token. I'm sure I had spare hit points elsewhere if I accidentally put one on an envoy. Control N. So, if I'm lucky, this will be the last round. Okay, now I'm going to put Emery into play, using her ability. I'm going to play these two as the play area is getting very cramped. Oh, and the envoy will add the resource to Galadriel. Use Galadriel on this deck. Okay. Wizard Pipe. Envoy up there. Play the envoy. Add the resource to Galadriel. Play another envoy. Add the resource to Galadriel. Play a Handmaiden. Reduce this deck's threat by 1. Okay. There is 7 threat in the staging area. Request for... Okay, sure. I don't actually want to exhaust the first player token, but... 13... 15, 17... 19, 21... 22... 24... 26, 27. Haradrim Warrior, who is currently 3 threat and 3 archery, pinned down. Add X to the archery total this round. X is the number of locations the players control. If the players control less than 4 locations, pinned down gains surge. This is the number of locations the players control. All the players. So that's 7. As opposed to the Haradrim Warrior, which is just controlled by the first player. So that is more than 4, so it does not gain surge. Just put that archery there. So I have only added 3 threat. Actually, no, I've added no threat to the staging area because of the Ithilien tracker. So of course I explore the Palace Remains. Not sure if that should then recalculate the archery. I'll do it as if it does for now. But now, okay, I engage the Haradrim Warrior, who is then boosted to 7 attack and defense. Since I've still managed... Actually, no, it's fine. I was going to say, since I've still managed to avoid getting any ruined squares, I can just chump him, but I can also discard his shadow card. I should, however, assign my 12 points of archery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I discard his shadow card. I defend him with Denethor, who takes 2 damage, which I can heal. I don't even need to kill him. So, if the players control all Osgiliath locations in play at the end of the round, they have won the game. Of course I do. All these 8 locations. So, yeah, that worked out rather nicely. It was definitely possible for things to have screwed me over. Orc vanguards can be a huge problem if they turn up at the wrong times. Trying to time the western and eastern quarters based on which deck is more comfortable discarding its most expensive attachment or all its events is a thing. And of course, you take control of them. They both return to the staging area if you cancel a treachery. Of note, it's only if you cancel a treachery, so you can still use Test of Will to cancel, say, the when revealed on the Southron Commander. Makes an immediate attack from the staging area against each player who controls at least one location. So that could be useful. But for the most part, it means you stop using Test of Will once you have these locations, if you don't want to have to take them again. But a lot of the treacheries you can just deal with. Southron support is the worst, really. And that's, of course, another thing that can cause huge problems if you reveal it too early on. But I mean, this adds threat to the staging area, possibly gains Doomed 2. That directly returns locations to the staging area or raises your threat by a ridiculous amount late in the game. So that's a case where maybe you would actually cancel it. Oh, actually, no. Rather than cancelling it and returning all copies of eastern or western quarter, you could choose what locations you wanted to return. That obviously is a problem, but basically it just means you take an extra round, which if you're not having difficulties is not a problem. This condition can be an issue, especially if you get multiple copies of it, because it just causes you to keep revealing extra cards, which means you end up with you end up not able to win until you get basically all the locations in the deck. But that's why I had Power of Orthanc available to remove that condition. But this just worked out very well in the end. The Gondor deck obviously did what it was intended to do to ridiculous extents. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 allies in play at the end of the game. This deck was no slouch in that regard, though some of these came in for free with Heralds of Anorian. 9. Yeah. I doubt there was anything I didn't see in this deck. Nope. Seen all those. Various things that I didn't use here. Elrond's Councils. I obviously was hoping to possibly see for more threat reduction and better scores, but it's fine. Yeah, I'm very fond of Nightmare Assault on Osgiliath, and that playthrough, I think, was a pretty good illustration of why it works out quite interestingly and fun. Let me just check the conditions for returning these to the staging area that I didn't mess up. Didn't cancel any treacheries. This doesn't even have one. Attack, go undefended, undefended, undefended. Nothing. Cancel the treachery, yeah. Yeah, I didn't end up with any other conditions. Character leaves play, of course, is the ruined square, but the only way that was happening was if I chumped with a minstrel, and the ruined square is easy to get back if it does happen. So, that was fun. If you enjoyed this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.